everyone, and thank you all for being here with us at the fourth Blockchain Skills and Job episode on blockchain at HEC. I'm Athen. I'm on the core team of the blockchain at HEC, and also is the president of blockchain at HEC Student Association on campus here. We're created in 2017 by David, and he's the founder and president of blockchain HEC right now, and we aim to share knowledge on Web3, blockchain, crypto economy, and connecting ecosystems. First of all, obviously, like to welcome all of you guys and our attendants, and we also like to thank our prime sponsors, State Capital Group and PwC, as well as our partners, HEC Alumni and HEC Paris, and all the 90 speakers and companies who have already attended our event to shed some light on the world of Web3. I remind you that we have 2 to 3 conferences a week, so stay tuned to our LinkedIn for more events. The next will be a recruiting event on HEC Paris on the campus of Jouer in Josas, then a crash course session with Binance Academy, also on campus, and many other surprises in webinars and physical events. And definitely give us a follow on LinkedIn page, Blockchain at HEC, and visit our website, blockchainathec.com. Most importantly, we have our big get-together in real life on December 8th at HEC Alumni House in Paris. You will discover the diversity of our members, from builders to entrepreneurs to investors, VCs, business and tech experts, pretty much everyone in the ecosystem that we're trying to bring together. There will also be rockstar speakers that will attend for a panel there, and everything, all the details will be released soon, and it will be on a first come first served basis. It will be a very interesting event, and yeah, so I strongly invite all of you guys to register for all these conferences, which are free and available to all. To come back to today's blockchain skills and jobs topic, we're giving the floor to 4 recruiters and major players in Web3 who are going to give you a behind-the-scene look at all their companies, particularly their DNA, culture, current recruitment needs, and the current climate of the Web3 job market. We have 5 blocks of 10 minutes, 50-minute pitch, and 20 minutes Q&A. So in order, I am very honored to introduce Gabriel Lozano from CDLabs, co-founder and CEO at CDLabs.
Yeah, really nice to meet you. I'm Gabriel Begazo, co-founder and CEO of CDLabs.
Sorry about my pronunciation. Yeah, sorry about my pronunciation. And Catherine from Kaiko, the head of legal and general counsel at Kaiko. And Sebastian from Stack Talent, the co-founder of Stack Talent. Welcome, already a core team member. And Paul from Morpho Labs, the co-founder and CEO of Morpho Labs. And lastly, last but not least, Sebastian from Exaion, the sales manager of Europe.
Hey everyone.
Yep. Let's move on to David to share some insights about the Web3 ecosystem in France.
So we'll start actually with a short intro to comment the newly released report done by 2040 about the growth of the French ecosystem. So here you see actually, big thanks to 2040 first, so for this great analysis, and I really encourage you actually to have a look and go deeper. We'll go through very quickly and talk about the main highlight, the main messages. So first of all, in France today, we have 40 companies in blockchain, and we saw 2 phases actually, a start and acceleration, and we plan to see soon the maturation phase with actually 700 additional newly created startups from 23 to 28. So we can say a very dynamic ecosystem in France. We see also the spread actually. How is it the geographical spread? We see that actually 80% of these companies are mainly in 3 regions in France. So Île-de-France, not surprisingly, PACA in the southeast, and Occitanie in the southwest. So also very quickly in terms of funding, very interesting one. we see that actually France has seen a big traction of capital with 250% increase compared to the period 2009-2018. So France received $1.5 billion from Q1 2019 to Q2 2022, and Europe $7 billion. Also interesting, we saw also a record of startups financed between Q1 2022 and Q2 2022 from 5 to 18 companies. And finally, 15% of the newly injected capital were allocated to 5 big companies. So $160 million out of the $260 million. So we are proud to welcome one of them tonight, and thanks Kaiko and Catherine for being here. It's a big honor, and we also had the pleasure to welcome Coinhouse the FNS last week. Yeah, and if you want to continue, maybe Sebastian, because the next topic are more about the functions, different functions we have in this ecosystem.
Yes, exactly. The last year we have seen a lot of new kind of jobs that appeared, but basically now companies are focused in tech, so they focus again on developing the product, maturing, and also which is all the field of marketing, community builders, community management, Discord management, etc. This is new kind of jobs that appear. Also with the legal part, Mika just have been voted last 2 weeks. So now you have a lot of new jobs about legal, but in blockchain. So doing SAN, doing many different things. This slide is interesting. We see that we have now in France kind of big companies. For example, ledgers. Ledgers are more than 500 persons. Now we have companies that are not just startups, but now they're scale up and they're becoming like kind of a unicorn. For example, Sora as a unicorn ledger also.
So we see, then we can talk about maybe recruitment over the next 12 months. What they proposed, mainly developers, sales, and C-level, and also what I liked also is the diversity in terms of 86% of male. I mean, yeah, compared to women, men versus women. And finally, yeah, you can actually. I think it was just a quick going through, so we can stop sharing screen and Sébastien, maybe you can share also your more on the ground feedback from the job market weather forecast.
Now I was saying the market have changed in the way that I repeat, like now companies are focusing on developing the products. Two things: developing the product, developing the tech. So it's why, for example, you have infrastructure companies that are developing a lot. So tech side and marketing side. Marketing side is now very important. All the companies that have been developing the product for the past year are now arriving at the moment that they need to make famous the product, to sell it, and to build a community. For example, a lot of metaverse companies. I work personally with more than 5 French metaverse, so I'm talking about French markets. They are now launching the mint, so they need to sell the NFTs, they need to build first land, they need to build first services and everything. So yes, two main focus, tech and marketing. And we've also seen that the process is longer than before. Like 6 months ago, you can have a recruitment hiring process. It could be, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 weeks. Now a recruitment process is more like 1 month or 1.5 months, because companies are taking a lot of, they're taking really care about how they're spending the money and also about wages. So I'm not going to say that wages have decreased, but in some ways they're not increasing. We observed in the 6 months ago, wages increased very, very like a lot. Like you have like maybe double it, 50%. Now we're coming back to a normal situation with a normal wages and, for example, normal SPCE equity package and everything. Also another thing that we have seen now companies for sure, because it's bear market, companies doesn't want to give a lot of coins or crypto to their employees. So when they used to pay a lot with crypto like 6 months ago, now they're paying mostly in fiat because for sure they want to keep them as their crypto waiting for the next bull run.
Okay, thank you, Sebastian. I suggest we start off the pitch from the startups. So we said in Ethan, so we said it was Gabriel for the first pitch, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. Let me share my my screen. So yeah, really happy to be here with you guys. Just to give you a bit more of context, so I'm, as I said, one of the co-founders of CDLabs, and yeah, I will share my screen just few slides. Please don't hesitate if you have any question, write it on the chat. So I will explain shortly what are we doing at CDLabs, and then yeah, I will talk a bit about our recruitment plan, which is like one of our biggest challenges right now. So yeah, just to give you a bit more of context about how all of this nice story starts. I met Pierre, which is like another main co-founder of CDLabs, in August 2021 at Bitcoin conferences. Maybe you may know the name Surfing Bitcoin in the south of France, in Biarritz. And yeah, with all my co-founders, we are users of the crypto ecosystem since a lot of years, and we struggled a lot. We had a lot of issues when it talks to track and manage all of our crypto portfolio, because when you are a user of the ecosystem, you will use CeFi applications, CeFi services, for example, Binance, Coinbase, KuCoin, and so on. So many centralized exchanges, because all the centralized part of the ecosystem has a lot of interest, also a lot of opportunities. But also, obviously, you will have a deep look at DeFi protocols, a lot of really interesting tools on the decentralized part of the ecosystem. So we wanted to create a tool, a dashboard, to track and manage all of your crypto assets within its DeFi or CeFi. So this is our first product, cede.link, which is like a dashboard in which one you will be able to track and transfer all the crypto ecosystem. So all the cryptos that you have in your portfolio. So you can see, like, at the first look, it's like a classical dashboard. You will have like you will be able to see some interesting statistics. How much money do you have in each blockchain? How much money do you have in each centralized exchange? And also, like Zapper, for example, what money do you have like in each protocol, in each DeFi protocol, for example. So you will have nice features on how much money do you have like in Binance Card, in the staking account of Binance, and so on. But so this was like our first idea, create this dashboard to have like to be omniscient, to see everything. But when we tried to integrate at the beginning the centralized part of the ecosystem, we had some issues. Because like actually it was not easy. If you are watching like right now the market, there are plenty of dashboard, of DeFi dashboard, for example, Zapper, Exaion, Dbank, but they are all focusing on the DeFi part, because they want to do non-custodial management. So, and this non-custodiality for us was really important, because we are mainly DeFi users. So we want to be decentralized. We want to have like servers to store the data of the user. It's not something really doable for us. We are really non-custodial, so we don't want, you know, to create accounts, have like an email, a password, and so on. So we thought a bit, and we decided to create our second product, cede.store, which is a browser wallet extension, kind of MetaMask, but for your centralized exchanges. So the idea is that the user will put his API keys from Binance, Coinbase, or any centralized exchanges directly into the browser wallet extension, cede.store. These API keys will be stored directly on the local storage of the users, or also on a hardware solution to have a better security level. For example, right now we're working on Ledger to really store the API keys directly into the Ledger and sign the request directly from the Ledger. So yeah, it's really with this browser wallet extension, which is like, maybe we can say, our main innovation, that we are able to integrate the centralized part of the ecosystem in a non-custodial way to DeFi. And so yeah, just to have like a more general point of view about where our products are in the ecosystem. That's really important to say that we are not competing with MetaMask or any other DeFi browser wallet, because we know that the competition is really high right now. MetaMask is maybe the big one, but a lot of amazing tools are coming, EVM and non-EVM. For example, right now I'm using Rabi. I think it's an interesting wallet. So we are not competing with all the DeFi browser wallets. We are just completing the solution and yeah, creating like the technological brick who was missing in the ecosystem with this browser wallet extension for you centralized exchanges. So it's really like a new technology, we can say like a browser wallet for your centralized exchanges in a non-custodial way. And how why we have like these two products and not just an only product, it's all about our vision, because in the ID we want like cde.store, it's like a totally new product, and the idea is that cde.store got plugged to every D app. So at the beginning it will be cede.link, which is like our dashboard, but we want, for example, to be able to use cede.store on any DeFi protocol, on any D app on the DeFi part, who want to aggregate all the CeFi liquidity of the user. So that's really important to have this in mind. cede.store will be able to integrate all the CeFi liquidity to any D app, to any DeFi protocol. So that's why we have these two products. So basically, the user will have just to connect on cd.link. So like any D app, actually, it will be also the domain name, cd.link. So the user will have access to this dashboard, and he will connect, for example, his MetaMask or any other DeFi browser wallet. He will also connect his new browser wallet extension, cd.store, to connect all the centralized part of the ecosystem. And just on a few clicks, he will have access to all his portfolio, and he will be able to do management and tracking. And not only tracking, because right now we can see some interesting products on the ecosystem, for example, Coinstat or Abron, who are trying to add the centralized part of the ecosystem, but as they have servers and they are storing the data, they cannot do proper management of funds, and they will only focus on the data visualization. So that's interesting because you will have like a proper visualization of all of your crypto assets, but you won't be able, for example, to transfer, to do withdraw from your Binance to your MetaMask, or for example, to invest directly money that you have from your Coinbase to a DeFi protocol. And with our solution, you will be able to do that without connecting manually to Binance, Coinbase, and so on. Just be omniscient, efficient, and do everything in a single interface. So yeah, that's the idea about CDLabs. Here you have like two interesting links as we are talking about hiring. As I said, we started the journey 1.5 years ago. Right now we have 5 people in the team. Maybe we are planning to hire another guy, another developer in the coming weeks. And yeah, we have to grow the team. It's as I said at the beginning, one of our biggest challenges because things are going fast. We have to develop the product quickly because yeah, the market competition maybe is coming. And so yeah, right now we are looking for 2 or 3 tech developers. So at the beginning, our hiring plans are really focused on the tech profile. So we are looking for front ends, full stack, back end, and then maybe in the second time we'll be also able to hire a marketing profile. So also if any guy in this conference is interested by a marketing profile, a CMO, this kind of stuff, it won't be for now, but yeah, just have a look on the job CDLabs.io, and yeah, happy to discuss about it. And also just wanted to announce that we will launch our beta in 1 month. So you have the link CDLabs.io. You will be able to connect and subscribe to the beta. And yeah, in one month it will be launched. We will select around 200 and 300 beta users to get proper feedback, and then we will launch the public beta in a more general way in Q1 2023. I don't know if I should talk about more our hiring plans, how we are focusing on that, or we'll do it after.
I don't know what our timekeeper, Ethan, maybe. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we can share a little bit, but
Yeah, sure. So yeah, just to give you more insight, we as I said, hiring, it's like a big pain. It's a big pain right now in the ecosystem. I don't know what will think the other founders, the other entrepreneurs, but the market is huge. The demand is high. So you know, a lot of startups are trying to hire, especially tech profiles, and yeah, it's quite difficult because also even more for young companies for us, because we have obviously to focus on the hiring, we have to focus on quality. So what we look, it's obviously first the tech stack, but also all the the soft skills. This is really important. We did some mistakes at the beginning, and yeah, actually we have to have a deep look on a lot of characteristics, not only tech, but also human being, and to see in the different interviews that we will do if there will be like a proper fit between the new applicant and the team, because um, obviously it's like the most important for a young company to grow, and to have like young employees, but ambitious employees. So right now we are looking not only for seniors, but we are really open. We know that seniors can be really interesting for a company because we are a young company. All the founders are quite young, between 21 and 23 years old. So definitely we are really interested in getting more experience with mentors, with more seniors developers, but also we already have really nice advisors who are helping us on that part. But what I wanted to say is that we are also open to more young applicants, because the motivation, the ambition is really big point, really important point. So I would say maybe the most important thing that we are looking at the beginning, when we are doing, like, for example, the first interview, is the motivation, the vision also. If the applicant is interested in the product, if the applicant is asking some question about the product, and yeah, if the applicant is understanding what we are doing, because it's all about vision. We have to share the same vision, the same ambition, and yeah, this is not easy to have all these same characteristic in the same applicant. But that's how we are trying to do, exploring a lot of ways to hire, like such as Stack Talent, which is a really nice company, but also with our own network, doing a lot of stuff, doing a lot of events, and yeah, trying to recruit the best talent for us. I don't know if you have any
nice.
questions.
I think we can take the question at the end of the.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Maybe Ethan, if you
Uh,
want to introduce the second one, maybe. Thank you
Yeah,
very much, Gabriel. Huh? Thanks a lot.
you're
thank
welcome. You're
you,
welcome. It
Very
was a
thank
pleasure.
interesting.
you. And next up, we'll have Paul from Morpho Labs to share some insights.
Yes, thank you very much. So hi everyone. So I'm Paul from Morpho. So I've been working on the DeFi and crypto space for many years now. I started in decentralized algorithms research 6 years ago, and as a student, and then went into blockchain, into DeFi, smart contracts, and DeFi. And so 2 years ago, I started modeling DeFi protocols, so decentralized finance protocols, from a theoretical point of view, in Polytechnique and Plateau Saclay. And there I co-founded Morpho Labs, which is a software development company working on Morpho, which is a lending protocol. And so Morpho enables you to lend and borrow crypto assets very efficiently in a decentralized manner. So we've been working on Mofo for a year now. The protocol has been live for 4 months, maybe now, and we have 200 million loans currently done on the protocol. So that's pretty cool. We've also been raising funds twice, and we raised 20 million with Andreessen Horowitz and Variant, that are arguably like the best investors in the space 3 months ago, I think, or 4 months ago. So we're very excited about like what we've been building so far, and maybe I can tell you more about how the team is structured and what our recruitment ambitions are at the moment. So Morpho's team is at the moment quite technical. So we're like 17 people. 15 of them come from a technical background, or even maybe 16. So we have a research team designing, formal proving, and a protocol, and then we have the implementation team that is going to implement the pseudocode given by the research team and pushing it to the blockchain. So that's like the Morpho algorithm itself. And we have like a more Web 2-ish team, which is the DApp team, focusing on getting the data from the blockchain, giving it to the end user through an interface, through an API. So that's for the Web 2 infrastructure. And finally, we have a growth team in which we have developers relations persons, marketing persons, and business development persons. Oh, and of course, we have like operations and legal persons working on the team as well. So we're 17 at the moment. And the recruitment strategy for Morpho has been and will continue to be the following: is that we basically hire like the best possible profile that we can, even if it can take like ages. So Morpho is a very tough and complicated protocol. But the problem in DeFi and decentralized finance is that a single error could cost hundreds of millions of dollars. And for example, if as a team we push a bug on the protocol, it could have catastrophic incidents. So that's why we take huge care in the recruitment from a security perspective as well. Like, for example, every person in Morpho that is hired has to go through checks in order to make sure like you're not working for a hacking organization, for example. And yeah, so that's like the current state. And we don't, at the moment, our focus is more on awareness about Morpho. So we've been looking for people that have both the ability to understand deeply technically what we're doing, but also to express it to the world in the simplest way possible to the DeFi users. So basically someone that is either a technical writer or has more some sort of strategic / business vision on what the protocol could be going for in the next months. So I hope that's clear. I'm very open to any question. Some of you might not be very familiar with DeFi and lending protocols in general, so I can add up a little bit on that as well if that's needed. And yeah, and we also are open to freelancing, even though we are. So I don't know if that the question, Jeremy, was for CDLabs or if it was for Morpho Labs, but we are more focused on full-time contracts at the moment, but we're also open to freelancing. Yep. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And I think like if I wanted to sell Morpho to basically people interested in moving into DeFi, I will mention like traction. So we have probably, I don't see any DeFi protocol at the moment, at least coming that has the same traction as Morpho, like worldwide and especially in Europe. Like we have the best investors in the world, so that's pretty cool as for the protocol. And I just see the question: are you looking only for devs or also DevOps SRE profiles? So we're looking for. So basically, we don't have specific needs, and we are very open to how do you say that in English? Like candidates that actually post what they're looking to. They want to do as human beings, like in a company, and we look through it, and if we feel like that could bring value to the protocol, then we schedule a call and we work together. So I would encourage anyone to go through. Let me just send it to you. Jobs. Yep. So you know, Morpho is a decentralized protocol, so. In a decentralized protocol, it's not like the protocol is not itself going to offer different job posts in the long term. it's more going to be about people offering services for the protocol, and then the community deciding whether or not the services are valued for the protocol. So that's more the way it works in Web3 in general, is that people or companies offer services for the protocol. And we're already structuring our recruitment that way. I know it's unconventional, but yeah. And so, yeah, we're looking also at DevOps people as well. And yeah, and also same as Gabriel, I think like we've been focusing a lot on human being first, and second, like talent. But like we do less focus on experience. Like experience is not so valued in Web3 in general, because like there is so many things that are new that it's hard to like, you know, be able to know everything already. And we have like a strong onboarding process to teach everything that needs to be known about Morpho or about Web3 in general. Question for Morpho: are you settled on the auditing body, or can you consider newcomers? So what do you mean by auditing? Like, is it code auditing, finance auditing? Oh, okay. And is formal various part of auditing? Okay. So was that smart contract auditing? Oh, yeah, smart contracts. So yeah, we are currently looking for, but again, that's flexible. But we're looking for a smart contract reviewer. So mostly someone that is not writing code, but just reviewing code and making sure that it is flawless of the Morpho protocol, but also some other protocols we're working with and making sure that they're safe. So yeah, we always have needs. Actually, so the thing is that we would not recruit that person so actively, but we try to you know, try to attract. If we come across like a very good profile on that front, then we'll try to get in the team. But yeah, that's basically the way we work. So the answer is, short answer is yes. And is formal verification part of auditing? I mean, it could be like, it's just a vocabulary. You could say like formal verification is part of auditing, but you don't need to, like we're not looking for a formal verifier. We have like internal formal verifier in the team that are already doing all the job that is needed. But yeah, so if the question is, do you require like formal verification as part of the auditing job? No, but it's always good to have, like, I mean, it's like a super, it's a very rare quality, I would say. And if there is no other questions, I think I can hand over.
Yeah, we can continue the Q&A afterwards. So thank you very much, Paul, for your explanations and your pitch. Yeah, we have the honor to have now to welcome Catherine on board, and the floor is yours for your explanations. Well, thank you very much, Catherine, for being here.
Sure, my pleasure. Hello, everyone. Just one quick question, David. Do you prefer slides or no slides? Because I could do it either way.
It's really up to you. It's yeah.
Well, why don't I start just me, and then we can add a few things. So I'm Catherine Atteberry. I am the general counsel and the head of the legal department at Kaiko. I'm also the executive sponsor for the HR function, which means that I kind of set up all of our HR policies and hiring and trying to figure out what the right profile is for our company. But first, why don't I share with everybody what Kaiko is. So Kaiko is a market data company. We've been around since 2014. We're based in Paris. We have offices in Singapore, in London, and New York. I probably, as you can tell from my accent, I'm based in New York, but I split my time between New York and Paris. And we have 4 core businesses within kind of the Kaiko family. We have what we call our main market data business. We have a research business where we produce and sell investment research. We also have an analytics business, and we are recently, or probably about to launch, but I can certainly talk about it, launching an index business. The way that we think about our company is that, the core principle that drives us is that blockchain will empower basically the future of finance. So we start with market data, and we start with the fact that market participants, basically will need access to digital assets data. So if you think about the traditional ecosystem and how that is entirely fueled, it's fueled by a lot of market data. And we think that the DeFi world will be fueled by the same way. So our goal is to enable that. And one of our main missions is to really bridge the gap between TradFi and DeFi. So one of our first pillars has been, how do we create data based on digital assets that folks in traditional finance will understand, to kind of help them move over to the blockchain. So our ultimate move is, we believe contracting belongs in the blockchain. We believe pretty much anything related to finance, front office, back office, belongs there. And the way that we found to attract folks to that way of thinking is to show them that there are similarities instead of differences. So, it basically, that's what we're about. So we are a mass producer of data and we obtain data from all of the crypto or all of the digital assets exchanges, the centralized ones and the decentralized ones. We create products that various folks in various industries can identify. We've developed analytics. Some are very straightforward, like implied volatility and things like that. Others are more bespoke. We do custom indices, and we're just striving to become that, reference data provider. In terms of, how we operate and where we are, I think we're a little, I don't think I would call us a startup anymore. I think I can happily say that we're a scale up. I will challenge the previous speaker, Paul, on who has the best investors. I believe we do. We are, in terms of where we are a Series B company. I think are about to reach almost, 80 employees, probably 100 by the end of the year. So we are in hyper recruiting mode, given that there's only about 8 weeks until the end of the year. The profiles that we look for, well, maybe I can backtrack a little bit. 40% of our 40 to 45% of our staff are engineers and developers. We also have a pretty large sales team, and we have, kind of a product team that's also pretty significant. So I would say, 40, 30, and 20. What we are looking for are just, I don't think we have a specific profile. We look for the best of the best, people who can kind of think outside the box. We usually hire for a specific purpose, but I can tell you that most of the people that we've hired in the last 6 months are doing a job that's slightly different than what they were hired for. And that's only because they found a better way to do something. So we believe in kind of a little bit of entrepreneurship within our business, right? if I look at our DeFi products, it's not what I thought it was going to be when we were hiring for those roles, 10 months ago. We hired some smart people, and we do a combination of folks with experience, new graduates, and in between. We believe, a good team has a little bit of everything. But maybe the common denominator is the fact that nobody's really wed to anything. There's no one way. We're always looking to change. That doesn't mean that, we still have to be kind of responsible and, follow the roadmap that we've set up for ourselves. But often we found that, when people come into Kaiko, we think we know how they're going to do something, and then 6 months later they blow us away and they say, no, let's do it the other way. So I hesitate to say that we have a profile. If you are somewhat entrepreneurial, I think Kaiko is a place for you, because there's no limit as to what you can do. We also believe in mobility. I will say that. So some of our new employees, folks that maybe joined us 6 months ago in New York and in Paris, are now on a rotation to Singapore for 6 months. We're building out our office in Singapore, and we think it's really good to kind of have our company culture kind of be created with having people kind of move, you know, for 6 months to a year, obviously only if they want to. But that's good. We do exchanges, so a lot of people travel between Paris and New York. And I think that's how we keep, you know, a good tight-knit company culture. I can tell you about our executive kind of team, that basically the team that runs the company, with our CEO, Soubirant. So she built us from scratch, and she chose people that each have one really good thing that they do well. So I feel like together we're this one great manager. And that's really been interesting. It's really, we believe that strength comes in numbers. And maybe I'll stop there to see if anybody has questions. I don't see anything.
You don't see any question, but
No.
maybe we can have like in the Q&A, I'm sure the
Sure,
people
absolutely.
it was thank you very much, very interesting explanations also, Catherine. Maybe what the next one, Ethan? Maybe you can.
Yeah, I think we can move on to Sebastian from Exaion.
Yes, for sure. Thanks, everyone. So my name is Sebastian Puccio. I am the sales manager Europe at Exaion. So maybe I'll be sharing my screen. I'm sorry, because my slides are in French. Actually, I don't have the English version right now. It's not updated, so I'm sorry. So yeah, Exaion. Who we are? Actually, we are a subsidiary of EDF, so EDF Group, which is one of the biggest energy provider in Europe and in the world. So what we are, actually, we are a provider, eco-friendly provider of Web3 infrastructure and solutions. So yes, we are a subsidiary, but actually the project came. It's an intrapreneurship, I would say. I mean that our two co-founders. They come from EDF. Actually, our CTO, which is one of the co-founders, he used to be the manager of the 2 data centers of EDF, and our CEO, he used to be. He worked on building actually the fund that is our actioner, actually, the fund that is financing innovation within the group. So it came as an idea in 2018, and the company was created in 2020. So where it comes from is actually, you know, EDF has big supercomputers. They always have been. So the supercomputers, they use them for nuclear mainly, to make calculation on that. Every 4 to 5 years, actually, they are changing the supercomputers. They are buying new ones. They are more efficient. And they weren't doing anything with the supercomputers. So actually what we do is that we buy them back and we give a second life to all the infrastructures, but are still really good infrastructure, because they used to be supercomputers that was ranked in the top 500 actually, and also in the top 50 actually. So that's why it began. So today, what we do is that we buy back these supercomputers, and we built our informatic park like that. We have 2 data centers, which are the 2 data centers of EDF, which are in Normandy today. And we are actually, we are using half of the data center for our own services, which are really independent from EDF. So we have a lot of supercomputers, CPUs, and we began to build also to buy different GPUs cards, and we began to build our services like that. So today what we have is like 3 supercomputers. We are today 40 actually. I arrived 1.5 years ago at Exaion. When I arrived, we were 9 in the company. Today we are 40. We are actually going to recruit a lot of people, a lot of engineers, but I will come back to that a bit later. But yeah, we are going to go to 50, 55 people. So we are pretty, I would say, in a pretty high growth pace today. And we are actually working on 3 different things. I will speak about it later, but mainly blockchain and 3D cloud. So what we provide actually, it's something which is really infrastructure in different areas, which I will talk about it later. But what we provide is, first of all, it's security on our services, because being a subsidiary of EDF, of course, we built our architecture on the Security Operations Center of EDF, which is one of the highest that you can find in France, because we are speaking about nuclear, we are speaking about energy. So in terms of security, we have really high standards. So we try to do the same thing. Second thing is that we are sovereign, so we provide a sovereign cloud. Actually, we are an alternative from the GAFAM, of course, from everything that is doing Amazon, Google, and everything. We are a freely French actor. Our data centers are in France. Our data is in France, so that's what we provide. And of course, we have an eco-friendly approach, because we give a second life, of course, to infrastructures, but also we really try to have the lowest carbon emission for our services. Actually, today, thanks to EDF, we have an energetic mix, which is nuclear and wind. So actually, we are at 94% renewable, and we compensate the rest to be really net zero. So all our infrastructure, all our services are net zero. And we try to build on this decentralization through our data centers, through our services, because we're working also in blockchain. So what we do, actually, we are on three main pillars, I would say. So one is 3D cloud, which is more about what we have is that we have machines. We have machines that allow the industrial, creative industry to use our machines to work on that. So what we do is workstations, rendering on GPU and CPU. It mainly works on what they need on calculation power, what they need. We work a lot with animation studios, actually. And we provide all the infrastructure that is needed on that. We also work a lot on blockchain. Actually, we began to work on a lot of different projects. We've done a lot of development on blockchain, but today we launched a platform which is a node platform like Alchemy, like Infura. When you need to work on blockchain, when you need to run the apps, when you need to run a smart contract, things like that, you need to go through nodes, and you need a node management platform. So today we are the first French actor that own its own infrastructures and has built its platform on these infrastructures. So that's what we do on the blockchain side. And also, of course, we run data centers. So today, as I said, we have 2 data centers in Normandy, in France. We just opened a subsidiary in Canada, in Quebec, actually, and we are building a new data center near Sherbrooke, which is in the east of Montreal. And so that's it. So that's basically our 3 pillars, if I can say. So if you see, we are like definitely like Alchemy, like Infura, like Block Daemon and everything. But the problem is that all these companies, actually, all their infrastructure, they run on AWS. We have our own infrastructure. So actually in blockchain, you want to decentralize blockchain, but actually you are re-centralizing all the infrastructure through one cloud provider. So what we're trying to give is an alternative to that, and being the first European actor to do that and to own our infrastructure. So basically that's it. So that's the 3 pillars I was talking about. So today, yeah, we are 40 in terms of recruitment. Of course, like everyone said, actually, we do recruit a lot of engineers because we do need a lot of developers. So we are recruiting a lot of architects in general, cloud architects. We work a lot on OpenStack technologies too. So we are hiring some developers in full stack and in OpenStack, which is not easy to find, because what we do, actually, we're not using any tools which have been built by American companies or whatever, GAFAM or whatever. We are all doing in-house. So we are recruiting a lot of OpenStack developers, but also cybersecurity, things like that, infrastructures, so things like that. On the commercial side, actually, we are beginning to structure the team, because today we are just 3 in France. So I'm managing the team, the sales team in Europe. We are 3 in France, and we have 1 person, of course, in Canada also, which is developing the business there. So we are beginning to structuring a bit the team. We are looking, I would say, for more for junior people, actually more what I would say SDR, sales development representative, business development in general, which are really here to try to get the clients, try to do cold call, mailing, things like that, more than everything. So that's it, and also, of course, more customer success managers, I would say. Because today we are beginning to have a lot of clients, we are beginning to be able to manage those clients. So we need some people to be dedicated to clients, to try to give satisfaction to the client, to do upsells on what we are selling, and everything. So basically that's what we are hiring. Maybe also in the marketing side, actually, I think that we will be needing more CMO also, and community management, things like that. So yeah, basically, I would say. So yeah, supercomputer. It's a really good question, actually, because supercomputers today, when you're on proof of we don't do at all today proof of work. Actually, when we began the company, we are doing Ethereum, of course, but 3 years ago, the merge was already, they were already speaking about the merge. So the Ethereum had already to become proof of stake, but it took more than 3 years. Yeah, so proof of stake. So that's why in proof of stake, actually, you don't need that many computers. Really depends on the blockchain. You don't need that much. But what you need is infrastructure. It's an infrastructure, and you need nodes that will be always synchronized, always online, that will not fall, actually. And that's the main challenge we have. The main challenge we had actually building our platform was to have a really stable infrastructure. Because if you're not online, if one node falls or whatever, actually, there is a rank generally on protocols, and if you don't met the requirements, you fall in the ranking. So that's actually the main challenge we had to do. So we built an architecture which is really reliable, really stable, which is really scalable also to actually meet that criteria, as I would say. So yeah. And Jondo is really right, actually, because the supercomputers we have is that we actually disassembled the supercomputers, and we built a lot of different servers, a lot of different workstations, for example, or things like that, different servers to meet actually our clients and what their needs, actually, what they were needing really. So yeah, that's a really good. I think he really knows Exaion, actually.
So we can move on, Sebastian, the other Sebastian, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe if you.
I will stop my sharing.
And thanks again, Sebastian. So maybe, the floor is yours, Sebastian from Stack Talent.
So yes, to present myself, so I'm the co-founder and CEO of Stack Talent. We started the journey like 1 year and a half, July 21. Basically, we are a recruitment company. Specialized in crypto and blockchain field. So what do we do is that we hunt talents, we look for talent for companies, blockchain and crypto companies. So yes, find the best tech and support talents. Why we specialize in blockchain and crypto? The thing is, if you don't do crypto, I think everyone knows that, but if you don't do crypto and blockchain every day, and you are and you go very deep in the ecosystem, you can't understand everything. You can understand what companies are doing, and especially what they're looking for talent. As we said before, in crypto and blockchain field, I think it was Paul who said that we're not looking for experiences or I don't know, like normal traditional skills. Everything's very new. The tech is new. So what we're looking is for people, talent, to the culture, the ability to learn and to grow up with the project. So in Stack Talent, let's let's see some figures. The last year, we do more than 60 events in Paris and everywhere in the world, in fact, mostly in Europe, but also in New York and in Colombia for the DIFCON and ETH Latam in Medellin 2 weeks ago. We hunted more than 400 high skills talents. When I say that, is that we have screened, we have talked with the people, we have qualified the skills, have qualified the personality also, which is very important. We actually work with more than 50 clients in France, Europe, and also in USA, in Latam also. And we have an average 30 days, so 1 month, to fill a position and to find the right person. So we have been developing new services. So we're still doing Web3 hunting. This is our main core business that we do with more than 50 companies. We also do freelance. So for example, for small companies like small startups that don't have the ability or funds to hire someone for 1 year for a permanent contract, we do freelance. Also for kind of expertise, for example, community building for NFT project is better to have a freelance. You don't need to have a full-time person. Also, for example, for developing smart contracts, you need someone to develop one time your smart contract. When the smart contract is audited and pass the audit, you don't need to go back to see it. So it's why we developed the freelance branch. We also do a lot of consulting and growth strategy, growth for a team, I'm talking. Why? Because there are a lot of entrepreneurs that they don't really understand what is happening in all the ecosystem. So what do we do basically is saying, okay, you're looking for that. What is your project? You have this kind of budget. So helping them to grow a roadmap to achieve the recruitment challenge. And we also have been doing RPO. This is very new services. So RPO basically is to put a dedicated recruiter in-house, new company. And this dedicated recruiter, we have the privilege to have all the talent pool of Stack Talent. We have structuring our expertise area in 4 areas. The first one, when we start Stack Talent, we start by the hardest thing. So we start working with layer 1s, so blockchain is the first layer, doing a lot of R&D. So this is about researchers, people doing theses, and people who understand very deeply blockchain, for example, consensus protocol, yes, how it's working the infrastructure blockchain. After that, we work also with a lot of companies with doing metaverse, gaming, and NFTs. So for example, metaverse, we work with more than 4 or 5 metaverse. Each one has a specificity. Gaming company is going to be, I don't know, like play to earn, from small companies to big companies, because in France we have a lot of gaming studios, have one of the biggest gaming studios in the world. So we also work with them to help them to build the Web3 branch, and of course NFT project and NFT platforms. After that come security infrastructure. For example, Exaion is an infrastructure company. So we work with a lot of this kind of company. So it could be stacking as a service, custody as a service, blockchain as a service. So all the companies that make blockchain working well and be sustainable for the years. So in this field, we talk a lot about cybersecurity, cryptography, high disponibility infrastructure, etc. And at the end, DeFi and CeFi, and also all the companies that are doing tokenization of assets. You know, now thanks to blockchain and NFTs more specifically, we can tokenize every asset that we can imagine. The best example is real estate. So yes, a lot of DeFi and CeFi companies. What is our process to be sure to guarantee that the hiring process, the hiring is going to be good and going well. First of all, we need to understand the needs and the culture of the company. This is a very important thing. Why? Because as I said, Web3 is a new thing. So you need to hire people that are going to learn a lot, to do things that they never have done before, that are not scared to discover and to go deep in the tech. So first of all, understand the company, the needs, the culture, how it's structured, who decide what their next challenges, which kind of new features they want to launch, which kind of new products they want to launch, and also in which time, how many times, how. To ensure our Web3 hands, StackTech have developed a huge network of hey players that come from companies, schools, VCs, associations, and of the many events that we do. So we do an interview process, which is when we challenge the people, we challenge the skills, we challenge their culture, we challenge their personality. And we also do referrals, which means that we call former manager or former colleagues to ensure that the people are saying what they're saying is right, and how they work, in fact. As Talk Talent talk with many projects, we're now able to cross projects to better understand what we are doing on players in their former project. And of course, we work with based on success fees. So that means that you only pay when you hire people, which means this is risk-free transition for you. This is our team. So now we are 9 persons since 1 year. And this is kind of figures, so 6 headhunters. We have now 6 persons who are dedicated to recruitment, 2 persons for marketing, and 2 persons in tech, because we are developing also a matching platform and some new features that we'll see in the next months. We are now talking with more than 5 VCs. Why we talk a lot with VCs? Because we can, so win-win relationship, we can give them a lot of information, and we can help them to take care of the money in the company that have invested. We talk with more than 10 schools, engineering schools, labs, and blockchain formation also, associations, as I say, and we work with more than 50 companies. So that's how some of our clients. So Irony, which is more NFTs, Lux company, Nomadic Labs, which is a layer 1 defense custodial service, Kaiko that we have, Classroom, Exclusible, Kiln, which is infrastructure. So many, as you see, we work with many different companies. And of course, you can send your application to contact@stacktalent.com. And you can go to our website where you will see all the open positions and apply.
Thank you, Sebastian. Thanks a lot. Maybe the first question from Frederic: Do you see the emergence? Of new schools or new programs within existing schools focused on blockchain, DeFi, smart contract programming languages, etc.? I know it exists at X Polytechnique Paris, HEC, INSEAD, but this is for the elite only, and it's obviously not enough to feed the current needs of Web3 companies and DAOs.
In fact, I have heard that in practically every school now in France, they have a class at blockchain. Mostly in the finance track, for example, but every business school, I'm talking for business school, I'm sure for business schools, they all talk about what is blockchain. There are small courses, of course. It's not like kind of very focused or only blockchain, but you have like business school, and also in the engineering school, a lot of students have been building like associations like CryptoSphere, so pushing new classes, thanks to Gabriel, CryptoSphere, pushing new classes and pushing new courses about blockchain, but it's just beginning. And I'm not going to say that these courses are enough to apply to a blockchain job, for sure. In fact, their courses are very useful to show that you have an interest in this field to start maybe your journey in the Web3 the Web3 movement. But what as a recruiter, what we are going to look is your experiences, your side project. What do you have to do?
Any other comments maybe from this question? Maybe Paul, maybe Gabriel.
No, I totally agree with Sebastian actually, because I think that all the schools today are having a blockchain class. Actually, I'm giving courses actually in Montpellier Business School, and Montpellier Business School has a huge class of blockchain, big data in general, so tech in general, which is actually a business school. But actually, they're really into technology, and I think that today that's what we need, because technology is evolving so much really quickly. We have so many technologies. Actually, we have the choice. We can choose between a lot of different technologies. So that's really beginning to be something. And today also sales guys, actually, they are beginning to be really technical. And I think that we need to do that. When you want to work in a tech company, you need to be really aware about technology, how it evolves, and to be into that. So no, I totally agree with that. And I think it's not only big schools or big engineering schools or big business school. I think that all the schools are beginning on that. And there are also specific schools that are being built since the past 5 years, or which are really specific on that. So yeah.
Actually, I think also it's really depending. I mean, it's the time to share maybe your tips, everybody, for the quick tips to learn very quickly, efficiently. And I think one of the tips is the community. I saw that Cryptosphere was mentioned, for example. Blockchain at HEC is also one of them, you know, to learn and to share knowledge. Of course, it's not specific as learning a language, a programming language, but actually the community, even for developers, and it's even more key to support each other. And so if you have any developers community to learn programming language, please share and I mean, share the link in the chat, and yeah, don't hesitate to share. But Cryptosphere is one of them, yeah, clearly.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, just wanted to add something like, that's true. Like we are seeing like a lot of schools are trying to integrate more courses about blockchain, and it's really nice, but in my opinion, it's not enough. So yeah, they should do so much more. But so yeah, we don't have just to wait for that, and that's why, as you said, Sebastian, David, all the organization, all the student organization who are doing an amazing job in this way, it's really useful. And yeah, my advice will be, yeah, just to try to connect with a lot of people, attend to a lot of crypto events. Also, it's really interesting because we are like in a young space, and everyone will be really glad to help you, to take some time to help you on that. So yeah, my advice would be integrate some conference, attend to some conferences, that get subscribed to some Discord channels. I can talk about, for example, Jericho. It was like previously the fund. It's really interesting, and I think also some people could learn from it. It's one of the example that I have in mind.
Maybe also another question I have. We talked about hiring, but do you plan for the startups or companies that are recruiting now, also training, stagiaires, trainings, internship? Thank you, Sebastian.
Yeah.
No,
definitely. Definitely. I have alternant also. I don't know how you say in English, but I have 2 alternants actually in the company. We are beginning to hire trainees too. The only problem with trainees is that always is the same thing, is that it's on 6 months training. So it's always a bit frustrating because you want to do them to do more and everything. But no, definitely we are totally hiring people like that. In the sales side, but also in the tech side. Actually, we have a lot of developers which are in internship or alternance. So yeah, definitely.
I just want to share also one pain point of the industry I had from feedback from big rockstar companies in Web3 regarding the employability. You know, it's not specific to Web3. Huh? It's the learning curve and the experience that is difficult to get, and finally to be employable and directly very skillful for being very efficient immediately as soon as you finish your your training actually. So regarding trainings that help to be very efficient and employable behind directly afterwards, what would you recommend? Do you have any ideas to be very skillful and employable afterwards? How do you accelerate your learning curve and practical skills? I know the answer, but I mean, if you have any tricks.
Well, I would say being super curious today. I think that's the main criteria for someone is to be super curious, to be on LinkedIn every time, to check on. There are a lot of people that are sharing on LinkedIn all their tips, what they are doing about entrepreneur and everything. I think that also today, especially for the startups, you need to have an entrepreneur mindset, and that's something specific. That's something also to be always thinking out of the box, always trying to do better, always trying to give something to the company also, and that's really different from the big groups. Exaion, we are a subsidiary of a big group. We're still really independent, and we are really trying to have this mindset and trying to hire. And I think it's Catherine before that said, trying to hire people with really entrepreneur mindsets, and that's really something we are looking into. And I really think that's something that people should work on, trying to see what the startups are doing, how they do things, how they structure their process, sales process and everything. And there are a lot of podcasts, YouTube channels today, and there are so many things that you can learn from besides school, I would say. So that's something really to be onto. I think listening podcast every day, almost every day when you have time or whatever, checking on YouTube channels specific to all this stuff, it's really important, I would say.
So you're talking about knowledge, generally speaking, but for the guys who are, you know, more tech and developer tech, which is more like practical skills, how could we solve the, you know, this pain of employability, I would say, you know, once you have finished your training? Yeah.
There is a thing, and in fact, you see, I think, in fact, this is what we do as Tech Talent, like education to employees, to help them to be their employability, and also to companies, to educate the companies. There is a thing in France that like big companies doesn't understand now, is that the ecosystem is now being built. We are building it. So no employee is going to fit perfectly the position because no one's know exactly what they're going to do. So, so there is the first thing. And the second thing, for very, very tech persons, you cannot ask someone to be a crazy tech, to be a very, like, I don't know, like very, very tech guys, like doing mathematics, doing cryptography, etc., and saying, okay, you have to have a salesman personality. There are two different jobs. A salesman, he doesn't have to understand math or cryptography. You just need to talk about it. So you cannot have, it's what we call in French, le mouton à cinq pattes. This doesn't exist. And for example, and this is focus on Web3, you have very, very few companies now. Like, it's not like you have 20 or 50 concurrent other companies that are doing the same. So when you try to fill your position, you have to accept that you're going to find persons that they have never done what you're doing. Or if you want someone who really knows and really fits your company, you have to go to look and to hunt in the big companies, A players. And of course, the employees know that they're going to cost 100, 150, 200,000 per year. A lot of French companies for now, they don't have like enough money to pay this kind of wages.
Any other questions maybe from the audience? I don't see any. I see that we are close to the end. We have no questions, no questions anymore. Maybe Ethan, if you want to discussion on the conclusion, maybe.
No, I think it was a great discussion, Q&A. But yeah, sadly, we have to come to an end. And just wanted to thank all of our panelists, so 5 you guys, for a great discussion. Thanks for the attendees for the great questions and contributions. I hope this will give everyone some more clarity on the job hiring ecosystem in France, or actually just in Web3 in general. Just a quick reminder that there will be 2 on-campus events and 3 webinars in November. And please follow our LinkedIn blockchain at HEC for more information. And yeah, most importantly, be ready for the big get-together event that we'll be hosting in Paris Alumni House in on December 8th. Sorry, just to discover the diversity of our members and to meet some real rock star speakers in the industry. And finally, I wish all of you to have a very nice evening, and I hope we'll come across each other and we'll talk soon in real life.
Thank you all. Thank you, Ethan, for your support.
Thank you.